Hey there, Adam Schmela back again with another video. This is going to be a shorter video, and what we're going to be doing is talking about different ways in which you can customize your workflows. Because typically what you'll find with our workflows, again, I'll go back to the phrase being specifically generic, is that there's only so many different ways that you can do things as it pertains to client service, such as beneficiary account changes, sending money in and out of an account, having client appointments, things like that. There's only so many different ways that you can do those things. So customizing those processes, you probably won't have to do a whole lot of, though again, you still will probably want to be changing some of the descriptions and some of the tasks to match up with some of the internal things that you're working on. If you want to make them custodian specific, etc. Again, you're going to be doing all of that within the description here within each task, maybe renaming the steps, etc. But again, you have the outline here. It's just a matter of customizing the verbiage. However, if you do get to the point where you're wanting to really just kind of shake things up and organize or reorganize the workflow in general, that typically will happen with either a review cycle appointment. So again, everybody has contacts organized in Redtail differently. So you may query your clients different. You may have a step that's even before our first step. The other one that is typically that we'll see be customized and kind of, for lack of a better word, disassembled and put back together again is the onboarding and data input. So you're looking at this one here, which has already been attached to a contact record. And then this one here is actually at the template level in the CRM. So what I want to do is talk about ways in which you can really start to customize drag and drop steps and things like that at the workflow template level. And then we're also going to talk about modifying outcomes and how you can save what you're working on at the contact level into a template in and of itself. So again, another reminder, before you start modifying any of our templates at the template level, it's really, really important that you go ahead and make a copy of that workflow. So remember, if we go back into our workflow templates, what I want you to do is make sure that you create a clone, put a 1 or a 2 or a 3, number that clone once it shows up so that it automatically populates to the top of the list here, and then start working off that clone. Because if you start manipulating and dragging and dropping and deleting our templates and you decide that you want to go back to the original, there is no undo button, there is no control Z or anything like that. So make sure you're always completing a clone. So let's talk about ways in which you can modify the workflow purely from a layout. You'll notice next to each workflow step that there are these up-down arrows. Redtail gives you the opportunity to literally drag and drop different steps and reorder them. So you'll notice that meeting prep was here, contact client is here. If I want to reorder that and put that back to the original, I can do that. If I want to contact the client first before the advisor provides instructions, I can do that. So you can you can reorganize the flow of the workflows. However, here's something that does not change. Two things that do not change when we're doing that. Number one, you'll notice that the target date stays the same. So the target date does not move in relationship to where you're moving the step in the process. So that doesn't change. And equally, if not more important, what you'll notice is that there's no way for the outcomes to change as well. And so what you're going to have to do is that if you reorder the steps because you want it to flow literally how it looks, this step, then this step, then this step, then this step, you are, unfortunately, I wish there was a better way to do this, but this is where I invoke the phrase, I'm doing the best I can with what I have, and what we have, we know isn't the absolute best out there, and there are some limitations in how the Redtail workflow system is written. So if you do get to the point of ordering and dragging and dropping steps, you are still going to have to go in here and organize your outcomes. So for example, if let's say I wanted this step to be up top and be that the first one, so the advisor communicates to the staff prior to the contact appointment, and I look at the outcomes that are existing right now. So all detail, actually, this is the way it's supposed to go, excuse me. Let's say that for some reason I wanted to contact the client first, and then the advisor needs to communicate the steps. Well, if I look at the outcomes here, we'll notice that really it skips the advisor communications, right? It goes right from contact client right into meeting prep. There is no ability to do this second step here, advisor communicates with client. So if this is the way that you want this workflow to go, what you're going to have to do is either delete, you're going to have to do one or a combination of the following things. Delete outcomes that you're looking at right here that no longer match the flow of how you want the workflow to go. Or if you want the outcome here to be the same, but you just want the result to be a different step, what I suggest you do is you highlight the name of the workflow. You do on a Mac, you do Command C, or on a PC, Control C, you copy this. Okay, so I'll just copy it right now. You go ahead and delete the outcome. All right. So I would delete it. I don't want to break this, so I'm not going to, but I would delete this. And then what I would do is I would go in, I would go add outcome, paste, and then select the next step that you want to have happen. And again, I'll remind you of something that I talked about in a previous video. When you're dealing with outcomes in the workflow, don't focus so much on getting the vernacular and the verbiage in this part exactly the way that you want it to. Focus on what you want the workflow to do next based off of this outcome. So it could be something as generic as, again, did not reach client. You wouldn't even have to have all this part. And then just what do you want to have happen if you did not reach the client? Regardless of whether you left a voicemail or you sent an email or you did both, you could just leave it at this and then say, what's the next step that we want to have in process? So again, focus on the result, not necessarily on the input up here, and then you create the outcome. So you're going to have to do that if you decide to start dragging and dropping the order of our templates. Again, make the copy. And then once you have that order, you are going to have to go in and do a little heavy lifting on creating outcomes. But again, if the outcome result is the same, you just want to punt it to a different step. Use that control, that copy feature that I was talking about. That way you're not having to retype everything. So now what I want to do is I want to show you, okay, what happens if you do everything that I've been doing right here, but then you realize that, oh my gosh, I was dragging and dropping and modifying all the workflows, but I was doing it once it was already attached to a contact record. Oh my gosh, now, great, I have a very functional workflow at the contact level record, but now I don't have the ability to use this template in future clients. Because it's not a template, it's attached to a contact record. Well, Redtail thought about that. And so what you do, let's say that I go and I start dragging and dropping everything, like I said, and I get to the point of realizing I wish I had this as a template. What you're going to do is you're going to click back into the client record. You're going to go to the client homepage, go to their active workflow. So that was the new client onboarding and data input that we just did. If you click on the down arrow, you have the ability to save that as a template. And so template to contact record to template, it is a two-way street in Redtail. So if I go ahead and do that, what I can do here just for recognition purposes, we'll edit the workflow. We'll name it modified so we know which one we're talking about here. We'll save as a template. I can name this. So again, and now that we have that done, if we go back into our workflow templates, we're going to see that again, it's right at the top because alphabetical order, but it would fall in line with wherever from a numeric alpha ranking inside that workflow. And then from here, again, you can customize it and drag and drop and do whatever you need, rename it, organize it, attach a category to it. Now, one other thing that you're going to have to do if you do this, you'll notice that everything has already been pre-assigned based off of the way it was assigned at the contact level. If you need to change anything, if it was assigned to users, but you need to change it to roles, you're going to have to again go in here at the task level and assign that to the role for this new workflow template. But hopefully that helps you understand how you can do that. The last thing that I want to point out here as it pertains to utilizing some of the additional features within Redtail is the ability to use hyperlinks inside of your workflow. So one nice thing about Redtail is that if you're using an online file structure like Dropbox, Box.net, Google Drive, things like that, ShareFile even, you can go, actually don't quote me on ShareFile because I know their security protocol has changed, so you may not be able to do it with ShareFile, but I'm going to show you two different ways in which you can start uploading and utilizing the ability to link documents into the workflow. So you'll notice anything in blue in Redtail is a hyperlink, and inside of workflow tasks are no exception. So what that means is that we have simply gone in and linked existing documents that are inside the Redtail database, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute, inside the workflow task, so that once that shows up at the contact record level, if I'm working this workflow for Betty Davis, and I click into, refresh this, make sure everything's there, and I click on this workflow, and I hover over this, we're going to see right here that I have the ability to click on these documents. Oop. Let's try a different one here. That one's not seeming to work. There we go. And so now what happened is, as part of our process, right, we want to send the client the IPA, initial planning appointment, packets, components folder, these 3 documents included in that. And so now what I've done is I've automatically downloaded that document to my desktop. I can drag that into another email template that I would encourage you to have on file as well. And it gives you the opportunity to grab the relevant documents at the right time in the process, right from the workflow. Now, how do you do that? There's 2 different ways you can do that. So what I want to do is I want to refresh the page so that goes away. There we go. I'll show you how to do it first inside of Redtail. So let me create one more tab here. And I want you to click on Manage Your Account. And this is available to admins only. Go down to the bottom, Dropbox files and database backups. This is the area that you can drop down any and all documents that you want into Redtail. So the way in which you do that, you click Upload File, and then from here, find whatever document that you want to drag and drop from your desktop or from your file management software. Drag those in there, click Upload, and once you do that, you're going to have those documents in the file here, or in your basically your Redtail file cabinet. Now what you're going to do, the drop down arrow gives you the opportunity to delete it, but we don't want to obviously delete it. What we want to do is we actually want to grab this link. So we're going to right click. We're going to copy link address, because again, we want to grab the URL link, and I'm going to go, so that was the client acknowledgement change of investments. Okay. So then what I'm going to do is, let's say that I want to add that document to this step. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's say I want that to be this document. Obviously, it's not matching up, but you're getting the point here. So what I do there is I highlight that, and this is just like creating a hyperlink in Word or an email or anything like that. Click on the little chain link, use it as a protocol, use it as a URL. All you do is you paste, click OK, click Update. And now we have that. And so if I click on this, Redtail is now downloading that document that we just grabbed the link for, et cetera, et cetera. So that's how you attach a document. Now, one other thing that you can do if you're using Outlook, and remember how I said in this example, you can go ahead and create the email right from, or if you had an email template, you could go ahead and grab that email template and then drop those documents in there. I'll see you that, and I'll raise you one more shortcut. So rather than having the documents, if you have documents that you also want to send out in an email, what I would encourage you to do is to create what's called a .eml.tpl. So in Outlook, if you create a new mail message, if you're using Outlook, again, there's probably a shortcut for this in Gmail, but candidly, I'm not a Gmail user, so I apologize to you Gmail users out there. In Outlook, create a new email, a blank email. Type whatever template that you want to use in there, right? Including the subject matter, attach any documents that would go along with that email. And then when you click on File for that email, you'll see a Save As or a Save As template. And if you save as a template, that will save it as a .eml.tpl file, which gives you the opportunity to go and do the following. Once you have that, and again, what you would do is in the documents here, you would upload that as an actual file in the email or in the database here. So you'd go ahead and do that. What you would do is you would go and click on Edit Task. And let's say that I wanted this to not be a document, but I wanted it to be that file. So I'm going to break this link here. I would grab the URL. I would do that same thing. So let's say this was my EML.tpl file. I would copy link address. I would go in here. I would create the link. And now you'll notice down here, if I click on email, what I can do is I can either type that email in here, right? I could type the whole email right here and forego the need for a template. Or to do what I was talking about, to actually grab the EML.tpl file that I did, you're still going to grab that URL. You're going to paste that. You're going to upload it. And now what will happen is that when you click on that, it's not going to download a PDF. It's going to download an actual Outlook email, that template. And then from there, you can add the first name. It's not a mail merge friendly process, so you can't use the email mail merge template vernacular or shortcuts. That's what I was looking for that Redtail provides. Like when you do # first name pound or pound nickname first name. Again, very case sensitive, so make sure that you understand the specifics of how to utilize email mail merge keys inside of Redtail. It's not mail merge specific, so or mail merge friendly, so you will still have to put in the first names and whatever other customized language, but at least you have the email template, and at least you have any and all attachments that are supposed to go there. So now it's just a matter of when it gets to that step, great, we go ahead and we click on that, it downloads the email, it's complete with the attachments, we put the address, the email address in there, maybe change the name, the date, anything else, but the meat and potatoes of the entire email is there. So hopefully that gives you an idea. One more shortcut that I wanted to make sure that you understood as it pertains to really customizing your workflows and leveraging kind of one up more than just using workflows to manage the process. Hopefully those shortcuts help. If you have any questions on how to use the mail merge documents or the mail merge shortcuts, all of that is available on the Redtail help desk, or you can contact Redtail directly. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.